By the end of this lesson, you should be able to do four things. First, you should be able to recognize the important parts of three-dimensional figures, such as the base area, height, and radius that are needed to compute volume. Second, you should be able to recall and apply the correct formulas for prisms, pyramids, cylinders, cones, and spheres. Third, you should be able to substitute the given measurements correctly and perform the mathematical operations accurately. Finally, you should be able to apply these volume formulas to real-life situations and to figures that are made up of two or more solids. So by the end of this lesson, you'll not only know the formulas, you'll also know when and how to use them. But before we move to volume, let us first connect today's lesson to our previous topic, which was surface area. We have a hemispherical observatory dome with a radius of 8 meters. Only the curved surface will be painted. The important phrase is curved surface. We are not including the circular base at the bottom of the hemisphere. The curved surface of a hemisphere is 2 pi r squared. So substituting the value of the radius in the formula, our radius is 8. 8 squared is 64 and 64 times 2 is 128. So we have the surface area of the hemisphere 128 pi square meters. In decimals, this is 402.12 square meters. Take note of the unit. This is a surface area. So our answer is expressed in square meters. Kindly comment down if you got the same answer. Now, let's move on. Let us begin with the prediction activity. On the screen, we have four objects. We have the cube, a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. Before doing any calculation, which one do you think can hold the most? Which holds the least? And would doubling the height of the cylinder double its volume? What about doubling its radius? Don't compute yet, simply observe. Notice their widths, their heights, notice their overall shapes. Mathematics is not only about calculations, it also begins with making good predictions. We'll return to these questions later. Before learning the formulas, we need to clearly distinguish between volume and surface area. Volume is the amount of three-dimensional space found inside a solid object. So for example, when we ask how much water fits inside a container, how much sand fits in a box, or how much air a balloon can contain, we are talking about volume. Surface area, on the other hand, measures the outside covering of an object. If you are wrapping a gift box, painting a wall, or covering a container with material, you are working with surface area. Here is an easy way to remember. A volume means filling, while a surface area means covering. Their units are also different. Volume uses cubic units such as cubic centimeters or cubic meters, while surface area uses square units such as square centimeters or square meters. So always check your final unit. A volume answer should never end in square units. Let's begin with prisms. A prism has two identical parallel bases connected by rectangular faces. Whether it's triangular, rectangular, pentagonal, or any other prism, the idea is the same. The volume equals the area of the base multiplied by the height. So again, h here is our height. So think of stacking identical bases on top of each other. The more layers you stack, the larger the volume becomes. Let's have an example. So we are given here a rectangular prism. The length is 10. The width is 6 and the height is 8 centimeters. Once again, the volume is equal to the area of the base multiplied by the height. But before multiplying everything together, always compute the area of the base first. Since our base is a rectangle, so the area would be length times width. Our L is 10 and our W is 6. And 10 times 6 is 60. This is the area of the base, so this is 60 square centimeters. Now, to solve for the volume of the prism, we substitute 60 for the area of the base, then multiply it with h, which is 8 centimeters. And 60 times 8 is 480. So the volume is 480 cubic centimeters. Notice what happens to the units. Square centimeters multiplied by centimeters gives us cubic centimeters. This confirms that our answer is a volume. Let's proceed with pyramid. A pyramid has one polygonal base and triangular faces that meet at a single point called the apex. Like prisms, pyramids can be named according to the shape of their base. The formula for the volume of the pyramid is 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height. Again, h here is the height. It must be measured perpendicularly from the apex down to the base. The slant height of a triangular face is not the height used in this volume formula. Let's have an example. So we have here a rectangular pyramid. The length is 10 cm. That is for the base. The width is 6 cm. And the perpendicular height is 8 centimeters. So once again, let us compute first the area of the rectangular base. Since this is a rectangle, so we have length times width. Our length again is 10 and our width is 6. So 10 times 6, 60 is square centimeters. Substitute 60 in our formula. And for h, we have 8. So we have 60 divided by 3 is 20. 20 times 8 is 160. So the volume is 160 cubic centimeters. Let's proceed with our next solid, which is the cylinder. A cylinder has two identical parallel circular bases connected by a curved surface. Just like a prism, its volume is computed by multiplying the base by the height. So the volume is equal to the area of the base times h, where the base is actually a circle and the area of the circle is pi r squared. H again is the perpendicular height. Let's have an example. So we are given here the radius of the cylinder is 5 and the height is 12. Let us solve first the area of the base, and that is equal to pi r squared. Our r is 5. Let's substitute. 5 squared is 25. So we have 25 pi is square centimeters. Now let us solve for the volume of the cylinder. Let's substitute 25 pi for the area of the base multiplied by the height, which is 12. Let us bring out our calculator. So we have 25 pi shift times 12 is equal to 300 pi. In decimals, 942.48 cubic centimeters. Since the base of a cylinder will always be a circle, we can directly substitute the area of the circle in our formula. So the volume of the cylinder will be equal to pi r squared h. Next is the cone. A cone has one circular base and a curved surface that tapers to a single point called the apex. Its volume is 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height. Again, Since our base is a circle, the area of a circle is pi r squared, and h here is the perpendicular height from the apex to the base. Let's have an example. Our radius is 6 and height is 9. So let us solve first for the area of our base, which is a circle. Let's substitute 6 in our r here. 6 is squared is 36. So this is 36 pi square centimeters. Now let us solve for the volume. Let's substitute 36 pi for the area of the base multiplied by h, which is 9. And 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 times 36 is 108. So we have 108 pi cubic centimeters. In full decimal, multiplying 108 by pi in our calculator, 339 and 29 hundredths cubic centimeters. Just like in cylinder, the base of a cone is always a circle. So if we want, we can directly substitute the area for circle in our formula. Therefore, the volume of the cone would be 1/3 pi r squared h. Now let's go with the sphere. Unlike the previous solids, a sphere doesn't have a base or a height. Every point on its surface is equally distant from its center. That's why its volume depends only on its radius. The volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. Let's have an example. So we have radius is equal to 9 centimeters. Let us substitute 9 in our formula here. And 9 cube is 729. 729 divided by 3 is 243 times 4 is 972. So the volume of the sphere is 972 pi cubic centimeters. Or in decimals, this is 3053.63 cubic centimeters. Let's have sphere wonders. An official PBA basketball has a diameter of approximately 24 centimeters. A smaller training ball has a diameter of 12 centimeters. How many times greater is the volume of the PBA ball compared to the training ball? To answer this, let us first compute for the volume of the PBA ball. Let us recall that the formula for the volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. But the given is in diameter. So we're going to divide this by 2 to determine the radius. 24 divided by 2 is 12. So the volume of the big ball is 4/3 pi 12 cube. And 12 cube is 1,728. 1,728 divided by 3 is 576. Multiplied by 4 is 2,304. 2,304 pi cubic centimeters. Now let us solve for the volume of the training ball, the small one. Since the given here is again diameter, we're going to divide this by 2 to determine the radius. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. The volume of the small ball is 4/3 pi 6 cube. 6 cube is equal to 216, and 216 divided by 3 is 72. Times 4 is 288. So the volume of the small ball is 288 pi cubic centimeters. So now let us answer how many times greater is the volume of the PBA ball compared to the training ball. Actually, 2,304 is 8 times 288. So the PBA ball has 8 times the volume of the training ball. Why 8 and not 2? Because a sphere's radius is cubed. This is called the cubic scaling effect. Doubling the radius means multiplying the volume by 8 because the volume is proportional to r cube. This time, let us compare the volumes of pyramid and prism. A museum is building a model of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The base is a square with a side 6 meters and the height is 8 meters. A rectangular display case, which is in a prism, beside it has the same base and height, which is 8. Compare their volumes. Let's start with the pyramid. The base of the pyramid is a square with side length of 6 meters. So the area of the base is 6 squared or 36 square meters. Now for the volume, that would be 1/3 of the area of the base multiplied by the height. Let us substitute 36 for the area of the base and 8 for the height. 36 divided by 3 is 12 and 12 times 8 is 96. So we have 96 cubic meters. Now let's go to the prism. The prism has a square base as well, and the side length is equal to 6. So the area of the base is also 36 square meters. For the volume of the prism, that would be the area of the base multiplied by the height. Let us substitute 36, the area of the base, and the height is equal to 8. And 36 times 8 is 288. So the volume of this prism is 288 cubic meters. Now, let us compare their volumes. 288 is actually 3 times 96. So when a prism and a pyramid have the same base and height, the volume of the prism is 3 times the volume of the pyramid. That's their relationship. How about comparing the volumes of cylinder and cone? A cylindrical can has 4 centimeter radius and 15 centimeter height. A conical funnel used to fill it has the same radius and height. How many full cones of water are needed to fill one can? So let's start with the cylinder. The volume of the cylinder, since the base is a circle, is pi r squared h. Our radius is 4 and our height is 15. 4 squared is 16. 16 times 15, 240. So the volume of the cylinder is 240 pi cubic centimeters. Now, let's discuss the cone. The volume of a cone is 1/3 the area of the base multiplied by the height. Again, the base is also a circle, so the area of that is pi r squared. So 1/3 pi r squared h. Our radius is still 4. Our height is still 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 4 squared is 16 and 16 times 5 is 80. So the volume of this cone is 80 pi cubic centimeters. Now the question, how many full cones of water are needed to fill one can? Actually, 240 is 3 times 80. So it means when a cylinder and a cone have the same radius and height, the volume of the cylinder is 3 times the volume of the cone. So it needs 3 full cones of water to fill one can of the cylinder. Now let us have combined solids. Many real-life objects are not made of only one solid. The grain silo shown here is a combined solid composed of a cylinder and a cone. To find its total volume, we calculate the volume of each component, then add the results. So let's start with the cylinder, which is the body. The area of the cylinder, since it has a circular base, is pi r squared h. Our radius is given, that is 5 meters, and the height is 12 meters. So let's substitute those values. 5 squared is 25, and 25 times 12 is 300. So the volume of the cylinder is 300 pi cubic meters. Now let's have the cone, which is the roof. And the volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. Why is it pi r squared? Because the base of the cone is a circle. Again, our radius is 5 and our height this time is 4. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4 is 100 divided by 3. So we have 100 pi over 3 cubic meters. Since we are asked to find the total volume, we're going to add these two volumes here. 3 times 300 is 900 plus 100 is 1,000. So we have 1,000 pi over 3. In decimals, this is 1,047.20 cubic meters. The strategy for combined solids is simple. Identify the parts, calculate each volume separately, and decide whether to add or subtract. Now, let's think more deeply. A cone has radius r and height h. If the radius is doubled and the height is half, what is the ratio of the new volume to the original volume? So here is our original cone with radius r and height h. And there is another cone, but the radius is twice of this and the height is half of this one. This is our new cone. Let us start with the volume of the original cone. That is 1/3 pi r squared h. Now, for the volume of the new cone, our radius will now become 2r and our h will become h over 2. 2 squared is equal to 4. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this will be 1/3 pi 2 r squared h. Now let me just isolate this 2 here and put it in front like this. 2 times 1/3 pi r squared h. What do you notice? This portion here is actually the volume of the original cone. So what can we conclude from this? What is the ratio of the new volume to the original volume? The new volume is twice the original volume. Why is this? What happens if we double the radius but cut the height in half? Many students think the changes cancel each other. But notice the radius is squared. So doubling the radius multiplies the area by 4. Having the height only divides the volume by 2. Overall, the volume becomes twice as large. So doubling the radius, which is a squared effect, outweighs halving the height, which is a linear effect. This shows that changing the radius has much greater effect than changing the height. Let us do extra challenge. A wooden cube has side length 10 centimeters. A cylindrical hole of radius 2 centimeters is drilled straight through the center from front to back. Find the remaining volume of the wood. And we are asked to use 3.14 for the value of pi. So let us first solve the volume of the cube. That would be the length times width times the height. Since it's a cube, the side length is equal for 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. So the volume of the cube is s cubed, the side length. And that is 10, so we have 10 cubed. And 10 cubed is 1,000. So the volume of the cube is 1,000 cubic centimeters. Now, how about this cylinder hole here? Let us also solve for the volume of that. The volume of the cylinder is the base multiplied by the height. Our base is a circle, so pi r squared times h. But what is the height? The height is the side length of the cube. Remember, drilled straight through the center from front to back. So the height of this cylinder would be the side length of the cube, which is 10. Let us substitute. The radius is 2 and the height is 10. 4 times 10 is 40. So the volume of this cylinder hole is 40 pi cubic centimeters. In decibels, 125.6 cubic centimeters. Now, what do we do now? Are we going to add the two volumes or subtract one from another? We're going to subtract the volume of the cylinder hole from the cube. So the remaining would be equal to 1,000 minus 125.6. And this is 874.4 cubic centimeters. This strategy, finding the whole and subtracting the removed part, is very common in engineering and manufacturing. Whenever you see words such as removed, cut out, drilled, or hollowed, subtraction is usually required. For the summary, here are the things that we discussed in this lesson. Take time to understand this. Now it is time to check your understanding. Pause this video for more time. A cylinder and a sphere have the same radius. For what height h will they have equal volumes? Express h in terms of r. Let's recall the formula of the volume for cylinder as well as the volume for the sphere. For what height h will they have equal volume? So we're going to equate the two volumes and solve for the value of h in terms of r. So to solve for h, I'm going to eliminate pi r squared. I'm going to divide both sides by pi r squared. So pi r squared here will be cancelled out, as well as pi here. R cubed and r squared cancelled out, leaving me 1r in the numerator. So h is equal to 4/3 r. So the cylinder's height must be 4/3 of the radius for equal volume. Gets? If you find this lesson helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. Share the video to reach more learners and subscribe to support the channel. For you to master this lesson, here is an extra problem for you to work on. Keep practicing, keep learning, and as always, you've got this with Mom's C-Cube. Our next lesson is converting currencies and time and using scales in maps in traveling decision.